Hey YouTube, Pipe Lawyer here, coming to you once again from the Manctuary. Just got off of work, which is why I'm still in my suit and tie, which is appropriate, however, because I am doing a movie review over a pipe, my Boswell birthday conspiracy pipe no less, and I'll be discussing the merits of Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps. And I saw this movie on Friday when it first came out at a matinee. And I went in with some apprehension because, most times sequels don't live up to the quality of the first film that was made as a backdrop. Well, I can tell you from the outset that Wall Street 2, as I'll refer to it, is every bit as good as Wall Street 1 from back in 1987. Once again, it's Oliver Stone that directs Wall Street 2 as it did in Wall Street 1. And once again, it stars Michael Douglas as the iconic Gordon Gekko, the corporate raider who was, at the conclusion of Wall Street 1, I guess, indicted and sent to prison for insider trading and securities fraud. And it's an ensemble cast. Wall Street 2 is just a fantastic array of characters in it. There's Eli Wallach from The Good and Bad, the Ugly, from way back in the 60s when he was starring with Clint Eastwood and Lee Van Cleef. He's in Wall Street 2 as, I guess, sort of an old war horse of Wall Street, from a bygone era of Wall Street. Frank Langella is in it also. Shia LaBeouf, who is matured so greatly as an actor beyond his turns from being in Transformers and what have you. He has really come into his own as a leading actor, and he held his own along with Eli Wallach and Frank Langella, Josh Brolin, who's also fast becoming one of my favorite actors, especially after his turn in No Country for Old Men. Susan Sarandon is also in it, in a minor role, but, just outstanding. And, of course, Michael Douglas. And this movie is unique among movie making because it's not often that you see the same actor play the same character several decades after he first played it. And I was thinking last night, I was pondering to myself, why it is that certain characters, especially bad guys, especially the evil antagonist of a movie, is sometimes regarded as a hero and admired more than he's hated. And I find that to be the case with Gordon Gekko because his return in Wall Street 2 was received with great anticipation. And I began to think, why do we receive characters like Gordon Gekko or Hannibal Lecter or just any iconic bad guy? Why do we choose the ones we choose and like them more than we dislike them? And I think it's for several reasons. One, I think, is because we as the viewer somehow, perhaps openly or perhaps secretly within ourselves, wish to live vicariously through that character. In other words, there's something about that character, how he is or what he does or something, which we wish that we could do ourselves, but for, in real life we can't. So we live our secret, fantasies or passions or desires or wishes through that character. And I can see where Gordon Gekko, though he's obviously intended to be the bad guy in both Wall Street 1 and perhaps in Wall Street 2, could be seen as a bad guy for whom we have a certain level of endearment. You wonder how he's going to react to the new world he's being thrust into, and you can't help but root for him, despite the fact that he started off as being the embodiment of 80s excess. Greed is good. Get more at whatever expense, at whatever cost. But yet, perhaps there's a part of me and a part of all of us that wishes that we could have that lifestyle where money's no object. And to pursue that level of excess with that level of confidence, perhaps that's endearing about a bad guy like Gordon Gekko. I think, too, also, is the character, or rather the actor who's playing the character. Had Gordon Gekko been portrayed by someone, say, like Alec Baldwin, or Richard Gere, or perhaps Paul Newman, maybe the character wouldn't have been as, loved in a twisted fashion as it is that Michael Douglas had played it. And I can tell you that Michael Douglas just nailed that role beautifully, both in Wall Street 1 and Wall Street 2. Just a superb job. Definitely things to ponder. Wall Street 1 was from the outset an obvious lesson in morals, and the whole greed is good type of thing. Wall Street 2 is more complex. It's subtle. It doesn't hit you in the face with, this is bad, this is good, although the lines between good and evil are drawn clearly. The graying factor, or the gray area, is Gekko himself, because you don't know which way he's going to turn. If he's going to revert back to his old ways, or whether he's going to turn a new stone, turn a new leaf, and become truly reformed in how he acts toward others, or his attitude toward wealth and status. Gordon Gekko was the embodiment of 80s excess and accomplishment. He was the personification of the yuppie, the young urban professional who, because of changes in circumstances and morals and values, and the economic times of that decade, was able to attain the trappings of wealth and status at a younger age that were usually reserved for professionals of an older era. You didn't have to wait till you were 50 or 60 to own a fine car or get the corner office. Now, at least back then, you could get those things in your mid-20s. Depending on where you graduated in MBA school or law school or wherever. The 80s dealt with millions of dollars, but the present world now that we live in deals with billions of dollars, and it's interesting to see how Gordon Gekko adjusts to the new world that he's put into, how he relates to people, his family, and his enemies. It is a satisfying film. It is very gratifying. Unlike Wall Street 1, there are no questions left unanswered in Wall Street 2. So I highly recommend you see Wall Street 2. Until next time, this is Pipe Lawyer saying cheers. And as always, I'll present the evidence, but you be the judge. Take care, good night, and God bless. Bye-bye.